Today on The Spot, it's the week after E3, and we've still got a ton of awesome to show off, including demos of Sonic 4 Episode 1 and DeathSpank, post-E3 news with Tor Thorson, and a look at the latest this week on Xbox Live. Prizes, musical performances, and all your questions all await coming up now, live and on The Spot.
What's up? Welcome to a live edition of Today on the Spot. I'm Brian Eckberg, and joining me is Sophia Tong. Sophia, I don't know how to convey to the people that we're live, but we actually are live right now. It's been a while since we've done a live show for Today on the Spot, but we were live all last week.
That's true.
How do we let people know? I mean,
I don't know. Well, you guys could email us questions,
or something?
Or I can throw your pen around.
No, we'll throw a pen around.
I don't know.
Well, how would that prove it's live?
Well, you guys can email us at onthespot@gamespot.com, and we can try to answer your questions, and that would kind of prove it's live.
Yeah, you can send us emails. Please do. Guys, you saw at the top, we have an awesome show. We have interviews for XCOM. Basically what happened is our video guys were working so hard last week that there's only so much they can get done in a week in Los Angeles. So we still have stuff that's coming out of E3. So you're going to see some of that today, including XCOM. We've got a demo of Sonic Colors, I believe.
No, Sonic Hedgehog 4,
Sonic the Hedgehog 4. I get them all confused. We got musical performances from Jun Sonoe, the man behind Sonic. We have a whole bunch of stuff. DeathSpank, this week on Xbox Live. It's a whole bunch of cool stuff. So I think it's time to, what do you want to kick it off with some XCOM?
Yeah, let's watch the XCOM interview.
XCOM interview. Andrew Park, kick it off. Let's do this. Where am I looking? There.
So we're here at the 2K Games E3 booth with Martin to talk about XCOM. Martin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us.
So Martin, we're looking forward to XCOM, but looking at the sign, we noticed that the original PC game was a well-loved tactical strategy series, and this game seems to be missing a hyphen. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, there's some weird alien manifestation. They seem to have come along and stolen the hyphen. Any more than that, I just don't know.
Okay, so this game, XCOM, is actually going to be, it's not a tactical strategy game, it's actually a third-person shooter. Tell us about the game.
Well, it's actually a first-person shooter with a very strong tactical strategy game as part of it. It was one of the key elements that we took from the original, and we were huge fans of that around the office. The fear, the strategy elements, and the terror of the unknown. You go out on missions and you weren't aware what was going to happen there. You got surprised by aliens attacking you. The strategy game was an absolute essential part of what XCOM is. And we've done a lot of work to retain key elements of this. So there's a very strong strategy game that sits above the first-person shooter experience and ties it all together. And one of the things that we thought we could bring to the table by putting the first-person shooter element on there is to immerse the player in the XCOM world in a way that you just can't do in an RTS game.
So, yeah, you mentioned, suspense was kind of a big part of the original game. You never knew, exactly how many aliens were around the corner. You had to, kind of guess, maybe come out of cover, find out that you were ambushed. Tell us about how these kind of suspense elements from the classic game are going to be embodied in the new game.
They're all very present in the new game. When you go out on missions, and we've got a completely systemic mission design, it's not a linear FPS by any means whatsoever. So when you go out on missions, you're not entirely sure what you can encounter. The information you've been given is relatively broad. You can, as you learn the game and you play the game, you learn what hints at what's going to be there. But even that doesn't give you full information. And when you actually get to the ground and hit that first contact moment, that's when you suddenly start realising what you're facing. And at any particular point in the mission, there's many, many things you can do. You would have gone there for a particular objective. Maybe it was you needed money or research or Illyrium, which is an alien substance that powers technology and weapons. But once you get there, various other opportunities open up and various other aliens are going to come out of nowhere, and you're just not going to know what's lying around the corner. And that moment of deciding whether you want to progress and carry on and risk what you've got, or whether it's time to bug out, take the resources you've managed to gain, get back to the base, and then invest them in the strategy side and building up new weapons and research and things like that. That's a choice that's up to the player. So it really is kind of fluid when you hit the ground.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're here at E3. Tell us about what kind of aspects, what part of the game that we're showing here at the show.
So we've been showing at E3, we've seen bits of the base. We've been trying to show the map and how the research and the strategy game actually unfolds in the base. And a bit about how you develop your weaponry. We've got various characters in the base. We've got Mal, the chief engineer, who builds weapons. You've got scientists who take the research and develop ideas that they give to Mal. And you've got a whole operations team there that's built around scanning the airwaves, police reports and news reports, looking for signs of alien activity. And then they'll put them up for you on this map table that will then give you the strategic choices that are available to you at that time. And one of the key strategic elements of the game is that when you decide which mission you're going to take, you sacrifice the other options available at that time. So there is a deep strategy game running throughout. Once you go out on that mission, that's where we start moving away from what the old XCOM fans know and love, and we start hitting into the actual missions. And when we go out there, we see beautiful imagery we've got this really nice idyllic 50s world, and you go out there and then you see the death and destruction the aliens are wreaking. And as you follow through the trailer, you meet guys who have been demolished by blobs, that have been brutally murdered, and you're going on to try and rescue this housewife she was going about her ordinary business. She was in the kitchen doing the dishes, and these aliens have come in and they've killed her family, her baby's missing, and you're there to rescue her and make sure that she gets out alive.
That sounds like a lot of great information. The game sounds very cool so far. Can we close by having you remind us when the game's coming out and for which platforms?
We're PC and 360. We're PC and 360 exclusive, and we'll be releasing some point in 2011. Sorry, we can't get any more detail than that, but we're hopeful it will be 2011.
Fair enough. Thanks so much, Martin.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right, that was XCOM here at the 2K Games booth at E3 2010. Thanks a lot for watching.
All right, Angie, thank you for that look at XCOM. Now I'm joined here by Tor Thorson and Eddie McCoo, our news intern. What's up, man? Nice to have you on the show.
It's nice to be here, and you said my name right. This is amazing. It's a good day.
That's because I asked you right before the show began. All right, guys, welcome to the show. You recovered, Tor, sort of?
Oh, kind of. I worked on 23 hours on Monday, and it's literally, there was so much news coming out of E3. It was, our traffic was up. I mean, it was really... it's kind of one of the first hardware-focused E3s we've had in a long time. Yeah. I mean, because it's like before, it's been software. And now, it went the tall a little bit last year, but then this year it's just like they named it Kinect. Which I can literally see the Don Draper Mad Men pitch for that name. Right. Kinect and Kinetic. So yeah. That was kind of the first salvo across the bow at E3. As news, we always report stuff objectively, and we would never show bias or anything, but I personally am a little skeptical of Kinect, just because its launch lineup, it's all fitness or party games, and it's, and just not having a controller, the PlayStation Move is going to, the big news coming out was obviously the Kinect's coming out November 4th. Yep. November 4th. And so, thank you. And so, I'm a little dazed still. I don't think people really realize we were in the middle of the Los Angeles Lakers victory riots. Yeah. Our whole work party was actually in the riots. People saw taxis on fire, people getting shot with bean bags.
Sophia turned over a cab.
Yeah, well,
really,
she's a maniac. God, watch out for that Sophia Tong. So, the big news was Kinect coming out, and so its launch lineup, and then we got PlayStation Move coming out in November, which is also going to be a really big kind of thing. I'm a bit more faithful Move, just because they are actually doing core game support. Yeah. Like they said, it's going to, Killzone 3 is going to work with it, SOCOM's going to work with it. So instead, Kinect's launch lineup, when you have 15 launch games and one of them is the biggest loser, I'm a little skeptical about that.
But right off the gate, it seems Microsoft is going for a different audience.
Well, they are. And the technology is ultra impressive. If anybody saw that stage demo, it literally, you can talk to it. Yeah. It'll obey voice commands, and it has a motorized has a motor in the base that literally follows it around. So on stage, this woman was chatting with her sister, I think, and it was literally following her around. It was keeping her in the frame. The technology is really impressive. When it comes down to it, it's all about the games, and so there's THQ's coming out with an MMA trainer which sounds kind of neat. Yeah. For somebody who wants to get ripped, like me.
But don't you guys think that it's just a matter of time before they latch into this?
I think it is. Yeah. I think really, Activision is being very kind of hands off right now. They haven't really announced anything big for it. Because it's Activision. They got $1 billion. They had 20 top line acts at their party on Monday. Usher and Eminem, it was. They made $1 billion profit off Modern Warfare 2.
They can afford to sit back.
They can just be kind of and worst comes to worst, they always got the Blizzard money.
Is there irony to them saying they think that the hardware is a little overpriced?
Yeah.
When
Well,
they're
for somebody that
charging
makes
all
$100 million a month off subscriptions, yes, there's a little irony
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So connected is going to be $150. So that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, the Dance Central station, the Harmonix game, looks really slick.
I heard a lot of good things about that.
Like, it looks really good, but the whole thing is, you know, I mean, you got to pay $150 just to buy in on that.
Yeah.
So, and then in terms of Nintendo, it's actually really funny because Nintendo President Satoru Iwata said that they didn't show off the Wii Vitality sensor because E3 was too exciting.
Right.
Because it's all about being mellow.
It demands that you relax.
I know.
And be calm.
I'm telling you, I've said it before, I said it again. Wii Polygraph, it's going to happen.
All right, let me ask you, Eddie, your first E3, your impressions of the show.
I thought, you know, I've always followed the show. I followed it on TV. I follow it on GameSpot, you know, throughout my years. But then now actually being part of this was, you know, absolutely fantastic. I mean, there's 4 guys on the news team, and I'm one of them.
Yep.
I think on, you know, Monday and Tuesday, I think we put out like 30 stories.
That's crazy.
And I mean, I wrote a handful of those too. And it was just, you know, it's phenomenal being part of something as big as this.
I feel bad he had to end it in the riots, though. I mean, there's literally cops with batons out blocking us from our own work party.
But we've always said this is the E3 you'll never forget. Every E3 is memorable.
Oh, we'll try to forget, probably.
All right, guys.
Possible,
Eddie, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. There's your look at the news. Now it's time to get caught up with our first demo of the day. It's a look at Sonic. Let me make sure I get this right. Sonic 4 Episode 1. All these numbers and things confuse me.
A New Hope.
Yes, exactly. Sonic 4 Episode 1. Check it out.
Emphasis on hope.
Today's daily demo, I'm joined by Aaron Weber from Sega, the community manager on Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us. So you're here to show us Sonic 4 Episode 1. What exactly are you showing us today?
What we're showing off today is the E3 demo. So it's got all 3 acts of Splash Hill, which is the very first zone in the game, and it's also got the very first boss battle.
Oh, cool. All right, let's jump in and take a look. So what made you guys decide to go back to this 2D Sonic?
I think 2D Sonic was something that was honestly coming for a long, long time. And actually, 2D Sonic had happened before, but it was just on the handheld. So you had like Sonic Rush Adventure, Sonic Advance series before that. It's just been a very, very long time before Sonic 2D had actually been on a console. So it was a mix of things, and certainly one of those parts was a lot of fans out there going, what we really, really like is 2D Sonic. We love momentum-based, kind of gameplay, and we like the stuff that we grew up with, the nostalgia kind of stuff. So.
I know, this definitely takes you back and makes you realize how old you are. How old is Sonic now?
Well, as of yesterday, in fact, Sonic's birthday, he turned 19.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got a couple more years, and then Sonic will be out drinking, I'm sure. But, for now, Sonic is certainly advanced quite a bit from, the very early years of Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, to the 3D years. And then it's kind of coming full circle again now with Sonic 4.
Wow, yeah, he looks great here. So this is Sonic 4 coming after Sonic and Knuckles.
Storyline-wise, it comes directly after Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay, so what's the story in this one?
The story in this one is fairly simple, and that was the entire point of Sonic 4. A lot of games have had really, really complex storylines with lots of voice acting and lots of twists and turns, and Sonic 4 isn't about that. Sonic 4 is about a really simplistic storyline where Sonic goes out to save his friends and defeat Robotnik. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Now the only twist in this one is that, of course, we can't make it too much like the old ones in terms of bosses and things that you've already seen and beaten before.
Yeah.
So there's a few twists to some of the bosses when you get to the end, and you'll think, oh, I've got this. I know this boss. I've played that before. And then after you defeat Robotnik to a certain point, he'll pull something new on you, and that's the fun new twist that comes with Sonic 4.
All right, cool. All right, so this level looks nice. It actually, seems so familiar. I know the levels are all different, but I don't know, just some of the tracks just seem like...
Sonic's had like a tendency in a lot of games that the opening of the first stage is very tropical, very kind of resort feeling stages and areas. So it started off with Green Hill, then you had Emerald Hill in Sonic 2, and Sonic Adventure, you're on a beach running around there. So it's kind of a theme, I think, that's very coherent within the Sonic series.
So any cameos that we should be expecting?
Cameos. Well, we mentioned back when we first announced the game as Project Needle Mouse that Sonic was going to be the only playable character. And I know a lot of the older fans look at the games and they go, there's another new friend, and they're just like, I just want to play a game that focuses on Sonic.
Yeah.
So with Episode 1, we're focusing just on Sonic. So Sonic's going to be the only playable character in this game. So no cameos from other characters in Episode 1. In the future, who knows what could happen.
Well, that's true. Speaking of the future, so this is Episode 1. How many episodes do you guys plan on having?
We haven't officially talked about how many episodes there will be. We have kind of confirmed at this point that we are looking at Episode 2 right now and stuff that's going to happen with that. So
at least 2.
At least 2.
All right, very cool. So you guys are taking in like fan feedback, I'm assuming.
We are, and actually already have.
Okay.
And there was a lot that went on with the game when it first, started going out there. We released the first trailer, the first footage of the game, and the very first sort of teaser trailer only had just a few seconds of gameplay. But from those few seconds, we had hundreds of forum posts and threads everywhere, and blog comments and all sorts of stuff about
I can imagine.
how they nitpicked everything. And to their credit, I mean, that's a really passionate fan that really cares deeply about a franchise like Sonic. It's very nostalgic about those games. So there's a lot that we took then from that feedback, and as mentioned, we've extended the game development time. And a big part of that is taking the exact feedback that they gave us that we really agreed with, that we said, this is good stuff, and we're adding that into the game to improve it. So physics are one of the biggest things, I think, that the older fans are really looking at, because they want it to really feel like the classic Sonic games again. So that's one of the biggest things for us, is looking at the physics, looking at like Sonic's acceleration, the amount of time it takes for him to turn his feet into that, the blur that you're so used to from the older games. And of course, level design was also a thing mentioned.
A lot of little details. Let's talk about the music.
Well, the music's not really changing at all, but the music was composed by Jun Sonoe, and Sonoe-san actually has been working on Sonic games for a long time. And I had the pleasure of actually talking with him quite a bit last night, and he told me he came on to Sega in 1993.
Wow.
He's among a few people that have actually still been with the company all the way through. So he started off actually on Sonic 3, working on music in that game. And then he went on from there, and about the Dreamcast era, Sonoe-san actually became one of the sound directors. And so pretty much all of the music that you hear in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, all the Dreamcast games, he had something to do with, or he composed it, or he wrote it, or he's behind pretty much all of it. And Sonoe-san actually is kind of like the icon, in my opinion, of music with the Sonic franchise as it stands. So Sonoe-san came in, he did music for all of the zones here in Sonic 4, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out.
Oh, very cool. All right, so what's happening here? I guess the boss fight's already over.
Yeah,
we weren't even
the boss
watching.
fight is over, and those are the animals being freed, Sonic's friends, getting away. And that's something that is kind of a minor touch at the end, but it's something that I think the fans will really pick up on. It's a nice way to kind of end a zone.
Yeah.
When you get to the end, you free Sonic's friends, and that's what the games are all about. And of course, for the people that are really into it, there's more to it than just beating zones. Of course, we've added the 7 emeralds back in, and there will be something special at the end if people can manage to collect all 7 emeralds and then beat the game. But I'm not going to spoil that here.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to add in terms of like contests potential?
Yes, absolutely. Probably it's one of the biggest contests I think we have ever announced with regard to Sonic and Sega, and that is that yesterday on his birthday, we announced that we're holding a video contest where we're challenging fans to show their passion for Sonic. And all you have to do is pretty much create a video showing why you are the biggest Sonic fan in the world.
Well, that should be interesting.
Yes, it should be. But anyone that's in the United States, in the UK, and Canada pretty much can enter into it. And what we're going to do is we're going to judge all those videos based on their creativity, based on the passion, based on the entertainment. And we're going to put the best 10 on the Sonic 4 website. So from there, the actual community is going to get to vote on it. And then the winner gets to go to Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, that's exciting.
Free trip, yeah. They get to actually tour Sega of Japan over there. They get to meet Sonic Team, and then as a little bonus, they get to be among the first people to actually get their hands on the final updated version of Sonic 4 before it goes live.
Wow, people better get started.
Yes. Oh, and they get to take a friend, by the way. So there's an incentive to really work with your friends on this one. But it's probably the biggest contest we've done in a long time, if not ever, for Sonic, and we're all very excited about it.
Yeah, I bet. Very cool. So when's the game coming out, and on what platforms?
The game is coming out later this year, 2010. It's going to come out on Xbox Live, it's going to come out on PSN, and also on WiiWare. And speaking of those, one last thing that I should mention for the Sonic fans that might be out there, we have a very timed Sonic sale going on also to celebrate his birthday. So if you're very nostalgic about the older games, if you want to pick up like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, any of those again, we've got a special sale going on pretty much across all platforms right now. You can pick those up for anywhere from 30 to 60% off. So.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and showing us the game.
Yeah, thank you.
And that was our look at Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1. Now on with the rest of the show.
Yes, I would imagine there'd be potentially. You mentioned to me while we were watching that, 19 years old today or yesterday?
Yesterday,
Sonic
I
is?
believe. Yeah, Sonic's birthday. So he's 19.
Okay, Sonic.
Almost legal drinking age.
Almost. In
Speaking
a couple
of
years.
drinking.
Speaking of drinking, yes. We haven't talked about our trivia prizes yet, but we have some good ones today. We have 3 of these charging system. Basically, it's like you hook up your PlayStation controllers or your Xbox controllers or your Wii controllers, you set it on this mat, and it'll charge them up. It's like magic.
The Wii one's
Can you guys
cool. It's
see
like
this?
through induction. You just let it sit there. And
It's through induction. That's a
magically-
scientific term. We also have something else that has to do with energy. It's Sonic the Hedgehog Speed. No comment. That's going to be a trivia prize for later on in the show. We've got 2 trivia questions for that. Right now, speaking of Sonic stuff, we have a special musical performance.
Yeah,
right?
so Jun Sonoe came by. He brought us like custom painted Sonic guitar. So he actually did a little musical performance. So
All right. Shall we check that out now?
we should.
Let's
Let's check it out.
Jun Sonoe. A musical performance by Jun Sonoe. That was nice. We're going to hear from him a little bit later as well, right?
Yes, he's going to play another one.
Yeah,
Exciting.
and yeah, that was pretty cool to have. So sometimes we had Piano Squall here a few weeks ago, I guess
Months,
it was.
probably by
a few months
now.
ago.
Yeah.
Nice to have musical acts in here.
I know, it changes things up a little.
Bring some culture in here.
Bring some culture.
I want to say we're live, and if you guys want to send us an email, you can do so by sending us an email at onthespot@gamespot.com. There's a very real chance that we will answer it on the air. Sophia, E3 was last week.
Yes, it was.
We were trapped in the Los Angeles Convention
Okay, I
Center.
did not flip over any cabs. I don't know what tour and you were talking about.
No, I misspoke. You just pulled the cabbie out.
No.
And just,
I needed a ride.
He looked. Yeah. So yeah, you thought it was.
It's really
Grand
hard to
Theft
get
Auto.
a cab in LA.
So here's footage. We actually have footage. Our guys are intrepid, man. They are always working. We actually shot footage of the LA riots.
I heard they were like running for their lives away from the riots.
I came out of the LACC and a lot of the guys were going to their car, and I was like, well, I'm just going to risk it. I'm just going to walk to the hotel.
Wow.
And I'm just walking through all this craziness. And, you know, our guys, they're always working, man, 24/7. So they had a camera. So this is kind of what it looked like.
Cops.
Yeah, that's the cops. They were everywhere. The fuzz was everywhere that night. I was walking up towards the hotel. I heard an explosion on my right. I turned to look, and it was like, I don't know if it was a tear gas canister or whatever.
Really?
I just saw people like scatter.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really kind of scary.
See, from our view at the party, it wasn't that
Oh, I'm sure it was
exciting.
great. Yeah, it was very,
we
very
were all
nice to be at the
just
party.
karaoke.
Yeah, it was a great time.
We missed you.
Yeah, you missed me singing, I'm sure. Anyway, there you go. That's a quick look at the LA riots for the Los Angeles Lakers championship. Time for This Week on Xbox Live, right?
Yes, so continuing on the show, there's actually a lot of games coming out this summer, so let's check out what's coming out this week on Xbox Live.
This week on Xbox Live. In Games on Demand, we start with Mirror's Edge. Get your parkour on as an elite messenger, running, jumping, and taking down police in a city where people have security but no freedom. Speaking of cities, check out the B-Movie game. Race, chase, fly, and blast your way through an adrenaline-fueled world of adventure as the witty and courageous Barry B. Benson. While you're already racing, grab your rally car and try out Sega Rally. Take on some breathless, wheel-to-wheel off-road racing around a number of death-defying tracks. In indie games comes Sharpshooter. Shoot targets in an intense test of your shooting skills. Sharpshooter has 20 unique games, dynamically adjusting difficulty, and the option to play with 2 guns at once. Tired of using your trigger finger? Then use your brain in Academy Trivia. Academy Trivia features more than 40 hours of gameplay with a whopping 4,000 plus questions. Test your knowledge against your friends and family. Done with trivia? Get in a tank and combat tanks. This is a 3D arcade shooter. Destroy enemy tanks before they destroy you. Speaking of destruction, go way back in time with Dinosplode. Become a nearly nuclear dinosaur named Sandwich and make your way through the bloodthirsty and constantly feuding caveman nations. If caveman opponents seem too easy, try This Is Hard. Think you're man enough to conquer the depths of This Is Hard? Trek your way through nefarious traps and deadly zombies to escape with your life. Who would fill the world with so many sharp and explosive objects? Conquer these challenges or join the undead masses. In-game demos, check out NCAA Football 11. From running the no-huddle spread offense to walking out of the tunnel to a roaring crowd, everything you do and see will be original to your favorite school. Speaking of favorites, here comes the Mass Effect 2 demo. Play the first level of the game, as well as a later level where you recruit one of your deadliest team members. Download new equipment and missions to continue your adventure even after the main story is complete. Also available in game demos is Crackdown 2. The agency is back and hunting down gangs has taken a back seat to a plague of epic proportions sweeping the city streets. In game add-ons, we have a lot to choose from this week. The all-time low track pack for Guitar Hero 5, Black Box Distribution Skate Park for Skate 3, River Course and Black Wolf Run for Tiger Woods PGA Tour 11. The Tuk Tuk Boom Boom, Rico Signature Gun, Chevalier Classic, Agency Hovercraft, and Bullseye Assault Rifles are all available for Just Cause 2. Super Street Fighter 4 brings the release of the Super Shadowloo Pack, as well as Super Tournament Mode. For Rock Band, try Miley Cyrus Pack. And last but not least, check out the Outlaws to the End Co-op Mission Pack for Red Dead Redemption. Finally, in game videos, be sure to see the animated series Episode 4 for Crackdown 2, the E3 2010 trailer for 99 Nights 2, the Onslaught Mode trailer for Battlefield Bad Company 2, the announcement video for Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam, Skate 3's Maloof Money Cup trailer, as well as a special E3 video page with videos from the likes of Gears of War 3, Halo Reach, Connectimals, and Call of Duty Black Ops. That's all the time we have for today. See you next week for This Week on Xbox Live.
Well, there you go. There's a look at what's happening this week on Xbox Live. A
lot.
lot of good stuff.
I know.
NCAA football demo is out. That's awesome. This Is Hard looks
That
amazing.
looks awesome.
That looks really
And
good.
hard.
And the Crackdown 2 demo, which is out. And I've heard that there's a way to crack the Crackdown 2 demo.
Really?
And you can, it's like a 30-minute time demo, but you can like do some weird things and you can play it as long as you want.
Forever?
Yeah, you can play it forever if you wanted to.
Oh, nice.
If you got the time. Hey, I told you this show was live, and I can prove it because we just
have a
got some
question?
emails in. I appreciate you guys sending these emails in. Here's a comment from Vitor. He must be from Brazil, because check this out. He said, hey, maybe the LA riots were caused by Sonic speed in a can.
It's possible.
Go Brazil in the FIFA World Cup.
But like this week is a Twilight premiere, so I think we would have rather been there last week.
Well, then it's just a riot of like teenage girls, and I can just punch my way through that. This one says, a huge hello from the Emerald Isle of Ireland. Anyway, seeing you guys live, I just want to wonder, what was your favorite moment from E3 2010? That's a good question. That's from Zach Canavan.
I like the Nintendo press conference, especially when I saw Kirby.
I was going to say the same thing. That
Copy
game
cat.
really impressed me.
Yeah, no, it is a really good game.
Yeah.
And
And it's like, it's got things that shouldn't be good. Like Kirby. Like Yarn. Like
What's
the
wrong
Wii.
with Yarn and the Wii?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
come on. Nintendo did have an excellent press conference. I was actually impressed with the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about earlier in the week. It's like when Zelda is like the number 4 best thing you see at the Nintendo press conference, you know it's a really good press conference.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep sending your email questions in and comments in because we are live on the spot at GameSpot.com. We'll answer as many as we possibly can. Earlier today,
Yes.
Sophia had a chance to check out a brand new game coming very soon. It's called DeathSpank. Check out the demo right now.
Hey everyone, it's daily demo time. We've got DeathSpank, and I'm here with Alex Charlo from EA. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you guys just announced DeathSpank has co-op, which is something that I think a lot of users have been asking about too. So.
Right, yeah. So DeathSpank has a co-op mode. It's a really big RPG.
Yeah.
And when you're playing an RPG, these typically take a long time. And sometimes you have a friend that's watching you and it kind of wants to hop in, but it's hard to make that happen. So what DeathSpank brings is couch play co-op. It's drop in, drop out.
Oh, cool.
The second player is a new character called Sparkles the Wizard because the land of DeathSpank is just full of wizards.
So there's Sparkles here?
Yeah. So we're going to see Sparkles pop in, and DeathSpank is talking to a boss character right now called Sergeant Orc. He's the leader of the Orc army, and DeathSpank's actually encountered this character before. And the first time, Sergeant Orc kind of got the better of him, stole all of his stuff. DeathSpank has worked his way to get it back, but now he's going to face him in a boss battle. So you can see Sparkles has kind of popped in here.
Just torching everything?
Yeah, torching everything. So Sparkles has got kind of 4 unique abilities. 5 really. He can warp to wherever DeathSpank is. He can shoot a flamethrower. He can clone himself, and the clones kind of become these little explosive kamikaze soldiers. He can shoot with his magic wand, and he can also heal DeathSpank. And the healing is a really important aspect of this because when Sparkles appears, the 2 characters share a life bar.
Oh, okay.
So while you have twice as much firepower, you're also twice as exposed. So the 2 you really got to kind of work together to make sure that you don't die faster, essentially. And really, the way we like to think of it is, DeathSpank he's this big, massive hero. He's kind of like the equivalent of like a tank character.
Yeah.
And Sparkles has a ton of projectiles, so he's almost a little bit more like a sniper or a distance character.
So it's more of a sidekick. So you're not collecting things for Sparkles.
No, but what Sparkles can do is Sparkles can collect things for DeathSpank's inventory. So, for example, if DeathSpank is fighting off a lot of enemies and they're dropping stuff and he doesn't have the opportunity to pick them up, then Sparkles can kind of round everything up. Or if Sparkles sees something, he can grab it for the inventory as well.
Comes in handy.
Yeah, definitely. It's really kind of a big cooperative play here.
So can you play it cooperatively online, or is it just
No, it's just side-by-side couch play, and the reason for that is, there's so many games these days that are online, and that's great and all, but sometimes you have roommates or you have people over, and there's so few split-screen games these days, so we kind of wanted to, bring that back a little bit.
Okay.
And also, I think it kind of helps lower the barrier of accessibility for an RPG. It's typically for a lot of people, RPGs are these big, daunting experiences, and DeathSpank, it's 10 to 15 hours. It's really long for a D2C title, and it is a full RPG. But the sense of humor makes it funny. So you might have like a sister or a brother or a girlfriend or a roommate that really wants to kind of get in, but isn't that into RPGs or just scared of them. And having Sparkles pop in kind of really helps make it easier for them to learn the controls and get used to that kind of gameplay.
No, that's good. I mean, they did describe it as kind of like Diablo meets Monkey Island. So I mean, Diablo was also you have a co-op player join in, so that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And when you share the experience, Sparkles can be upgraded. You don't do it yourself necessarily, but what happens is to make the game even, depending on the level that DeathSpank is at, depends on the level that Sparkles comes in at. So, for example, if DeathSpank is a level 1, then Sparkle's powers are going to be slightly different, a little bit weaker than if you pop in when DeathSpank is at 13.
Okay, so it adjusts accordingly, so you don't have to worry about leveling Sparkles.
Right, Sparkles will never be like left behind just because you put the controller down and haven't played it for a week.
Oh, okay. So what is this area? It's really red.
Right, so right now we're in the Orc camp, and this kind of highlights, I think we brought this up a couple of times, but DeathSpank is a big game.
Yeah.
And it's got a ton of different environments, a ton of different enemies. Right now you're seeing orcs. These are actually the one staple RPG enemy in the game. Ron really kind of strived to make this feel different from a lot of those experiences. But right now you're in their campsite and you've kind of run up to fight Sergeant Orc, and to do that, you've got to kind of come through all these characters.
And they've just died.
Yeah, they've died. And the funny thing about this game is that when you die, you pop up at the last outhouse that you pass.
Excellent.
And so the way it works is you encounter these outhouses, and they're not only respawn points, but it's also your mode of transportation. So as you can see, the environment here is different, the landscape's different, and because it's such a big world, you can run across it if you want, but if you want to save some time, you can just pop in from outhouse to outhouse to outhouse. It's the stinkiest form of teleportation, I think, ever created.
Oh, that works. All right, so when is this game coming out? What platforms, and how much is it going to cost?
Sure. So DeathSpank is going to come out July 13th on the PlayStation Network. It'll be out July 14th on Xbox Live.
Okay.
So same week. And it's going to be $15.
Well, thank you so much for coming by and showing us the game. And that was our look at DeathSpank. Now on with the rest of the show.
Well, there you go. There's your look at DeathSpank. I should point out I was playing Sparkles there.
Yes, you were. You did a great job.
Yeah,
with the
although we
flamethrower.
died, and Sparkles is in charge of healing, so we didn't do that great a job.
Oh, Brian.
But it's kind of fun. I like that.
I know. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. So there's your look at DeathSpank. Now it's time for trivia, but we got a question.
We do?
Yeah. This is
What's
from
the
James
question?
in Plymouth, England. He wants to know, did you get a chance to look at Formula One 2010 by Codemasters? And if so, what do you think? Formula One isn't huge in America, so it's difficult for us Europeans to get E3 info on it. They did show us Formula One 2010 before E3 began. You can check out my write-up on it because we did a really good write-up. I'm super excited at that game. I'm a huge F1 fan. So check out the site. There's a big preview of it I did right before E3 began. So thanks for that question, James. We appreciate that. Now it's time for trivia, right?
You were giving away the special Sonic Energy Speed drink.
Yes, we've got the Sonic the Hedgehog Speed drink. I always want to make sure that I say drink. It's not just Sonic the Hedgehog Speed because that's illegal. We also have these charging stations.
Right.
These are neat. Here's how this is going to work. We've got 2 trivia questions. Let's do this one first.
All right. Okay, I have the question for this.
You got this. Okay, go.
Okay, so what color do you think the drink is? So if you have the answer, you can email us on thespot@gamespot.com, or you can submit it in the answer trivia module.
Wait, seriously, that's the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, do you know what color it is?
Nobody's going to know.
They
There's
can
going to be
guess.
some
There's
guess.
only so many colors out there. I mean,
No,
if you want
there's
to say
millions of
like
colors, Sophia.
soft, like
There's a whole spectrum.
peach-colored.
This could be anything.
Oh,
It could be
well.
snot colored. I bet you it's snot colored.
Earwax yellow?
Yeah, it's exactly earwax yellow. Okay, now we have the charger things. Now, here's the thing. When you answer this question, if you get it correct, you're going to have to specify which one of these you want, because we're not sending you all 3. No, sir. We have PlayStation 3 one for your PlayStation 3 controllers. We have the Xbox 360 for your Xbox 360 controllers, and we have the Wii one. So send in the answer to onthespot@gamespot.com, but also specify which of these you would like if you were to win. That's fair.
Yeah, I think
that's
that's
clear.
fair.
I think. The question is, how long does an average battery last? I got nothing more than that. That's what's written on this piece of paper here. So if you think you know the answer to how long an average battery lasts, send it to us via onthespot@gamespot.com. And not car battery. Stop being a wise ass. Just like a regular, Energizer, Durst, something like that. How long does one of those last?
Okay.
And send us at onthespot@gamespot.com or the trivia module on the On the Spot page, and you'll have a chance to win. And don't forget to let us know which one of these you want to win. I think it's almost time to go. Do we
Is
have
that
any more?
it?
Oh, we got a couple more questions. Let's see.
Oh, let's see what they have.
This is from Dan in Ireland. Everybody from Ireland is emailing us.
What
This
time
is great.
is it there?
It is now. Oh God, it's like 3 in the morning there. What are you guys doing up? It's like 3 in the morning. Okay, having seen all. No, it's like midnight. I take that back. It's
Okay.
like midnight. Having seen all the new motion controllers in action now, what was your favorite one, and which do you think will do the best on the market?
Oh, geez.
Well, I think the Wii is going to do the best on the market
Yeah, it
because
still
it's
is.
got a huge head start. As for which one's my favorite, I think it's like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Kinect has its uses, especially when it registers your whole body for like the exercise games.
Yeah.
So I think that has a heads up from the Wii,
But Move has some definite cool possibilities with like sword fighting and
yeah.
gun stuff.
I didn't get a chance to play with that yet, but
It's pretty neat. So I can't pick a favorite yet because I think it just depends on what you want to do. Plus, it's like with any hardware, we're going to see the capabilities of this thing a year or 2 after it's out, right?
Yeah.
Like all the games that are now, yeah, they're fine, but a year or 2 from now is when people are going to be making the most of this thing.
who knows? Maybe they'll have more updates and attachments.
I hope so.
Be even
More
better.
questions. Let's see. Well, somebody just said blue. Two people have already said this is blue. That's
oh, come
their
on.
answer.
That's so obvious.
That's so obvious. It's not. I know for a fact it's not blue, so you guys lose. Anyway, there you go, Sophia. That's our live episode of Today on the Spot. Today we have
Yay.
we're going to be played out, I think.
Yes.
More music.
So Jun Sonoe is coming back, and he's going to end the show with another musical segment.
All right, we're going to go to that, but we will see you guys on Saturday for another episode of Today on the Spot. For Sophia Tong, I'm Brian Eckberg. See you guys on
All
Saturday.
right.